The story begins with a teenage boy waking up inside a dark, rattling elevator. He doesn't remember his name, his family, or where he came from. The only thing echoing in his mind is confusion and fear. When the elevator doors finally open, bright sunlight blinds him. Dozens of other teenage boys surround him, staring curiously. They live in a place called the Glade, a huge square field surrounded by towering stone walls. The boy eventually remembers his name, Thomas. The Gladers explain that none of them know who sent them here. Every month, a new boy arrives in the same way, with no memories except for their name. The only exit from the Glade is through the giant gates that open every morning. Beyond those gates lies the maze, a massive labyrinth filled with deadly mechanical creatures called grievers. The boys have organized their own society. Runners explore the maze during the day, mapping it in hopes of finding a way out, while others farm, cook, and build. The rules are simple: survive, obey the leaders, and never ever stay in the maze after dark. Thomas feels an unusual pull toward the maze. Something inside him tells him he's connected to this place. Though most new arrivals struggle to adjust, Thomas is different, braver, more curious, and unwilling to accept life in the Glade forever. He wants answers, but answers in the maze never come easy. Days pass, and Thomas tries to adapt to life in the Glade. But his curiosity about the maze grows stronger each day. He watches the runners return at sunset, exhausted and scarred, carrying maps of the twisting passages. The maze walls shift every night, changing paths and blocking any hope of memorizing an escape. One afternoon, Thomas witnesses something extraordinary. A runner, injured and collapsing, is left outside as the gates begin to close. Without thinking, Thomas sprints forward and slips into the maze just before the stone walls slam shut. For the first time, a newcomer has entered the maze at night. Inside, darkness falls, and the ground vibrates with the screech of grievers. Massive, half-machine, half-beast creatures crawl out of the shadows glowing with strange lights. Their metallic claws scrape the stone, hunting anything that moves. Thomas and the injured runner, Minho, run for their lives, weaving through the labyrinth. At one point, Thomas lures a griever toward the cliff at the maze's edge, tricking it into falling into the abyss below. When dawn arrives, the gates open, and Thomas stumbles back into the Glade alive. The other boys are stunned. No one has ever survived a night in the maze. His bravery changes everything. Thomas is no longer just another newcomer. But the surprises don't stop there. The very next day, the elevator rises again, much earlier than expected. This time it doesn't bring a boy. It brings a girl. She is pale, unconscious, clutching a crumpled note that says, "She's the last one. Ever." Her name is Teresa. And when she wakes, she whispers Thomas's name as if she already knows him. For the Gladers, this is the beginning of the end. After Teresa's arrival, the atmosphere in the Glade begins to change. Food supplies from the elevator stop coming, and the once stable routine of the boys is shattered. Fear and tension grow with every passing day. Teresa slowly recovers and explains that she shares a mysterious connection with Thomas. Sometimes they can even hear each other's thoughts. Though confusing, this bond feels strangely familiar, as if they had known each other long before the maze. Meanwhile, the maze itself grows more dangerous. The runners discover that the doors no longer close at night, leaving the Glade exposed to the grievers. Chaos erupts. Screams fill the night as the monstrous creatures invade the camp, dragging boys into the darkness. Every morning, fewer return alive. The safe haven of the Glade no longer exists. Desperate, Thomas and Minho study the maps the runners have drawn over the months. Slowly, they begin to notice a pattern. The maze isn't random, it's a code. Every night when the walls shift, they form letters. Piece by piece, Thomas deciphers the message: exit to the flare. But to reach that exit, they must face the grievers head-on. The boys are divided. Some want to fight, others believe leaving the maze means certain death. Thomas, however, refuses to give up. He tells them, "We weren't sent here to die. We were sent here to find a way out." With no food left and danger surrounding them, Thomas rallies the group. Those willing to risk everything will follow him into the maze. The final test is about to begin. Thomas leads the boys into the maze for one final attempt. The night is dark, the walls loom higher than ever, and the grievers are already waiting. Armed with nothing but makeshift weapons and courage, the Gladers charge forward. Minho and the runners distract the grievers while Thomas, Teresa, and a small group push deeper into the maze. Following the coded maps, they reach a hidden passage, a massive metallic door covered in strange symbols. Teresa realizes the maze is more than stone. It's a test built by an organization known as Wicked. The grievers attack in waves. Many boys fall, but the rest fight fiercely, refusing to give up. At the last moment, Thomas sacrifices himself by letting a griever sting him, unlocking fragments of his lost memories. With his regained knowledge, he guides Teresa to shut down the maze's systems. Together, they enter a secret chamber beyond the walls. Inside, the truth is revealed. The maze was never meant to kill them. It was designed to study them. Scientists appear on screens, explaining that the world outside has been devastated by a disease called the flare. The Gladers were chosen as part of an experiment to find survivors strong enough to face it. Before Thomas and the others can ask questions, armed rescuers burst in, pulling them out of the chamber. Exhausted, bloody, and broken, the boys believe they are finally safe. But as they are led away, Thomas realizes this is only the beginning. The maze was just the first trial. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more.